Good morning, good morning. It is Friday the 28th of April. April's nearly over, guys. It's nearly summer. Yes! It's actually 12 degrees in this room right now. It's 12 degrees. I was in my lounge last night and I could see water vapor coming from my mouth. There's a couple of things going on here. First of all, obviously we're having a really, really weirdly long winter. Making sure my sound's still coming out. We're having a very strangely long winter and all of us are terrified to put the heating on. Great. What a great combination. We're all in the middle of winter going, oh, well, it'll be all right in the summer because you won't need the heating then. But yeah, it's nearly May and it looks like it's pouring down here in the northeast. I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the weekend. Yay, bank holiday weekend. Yay, sunshine and flowers rolling in the clover. Woo, yeah. Oh my God, Britain in 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Britain in 2023. Oh my Lord. Okay. Wow, we've got a lot of chat in the chat today. So you might have noticed there's been a few changes. I'm not currently broadcasting on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube. Sorry, I am Twitter. I'm going out on YouTube, obviously. On Facebook, I'm just going out on YouTube. The reason being is that it was a bit difficult to manage the chat and people were writing to me on Facebook and I wasn't seeing the comments. People were writing to me on Twitch or on Twitter and I wasn't seeing their comments and they were going, Graham, why are you not responding to me? So that was a bit annoying. And also, when we have trolls, it's a lot easier if there's just one platform that I can just kick them off that platform, basically. But as I was starting off today, I realised my hand is disappearing. Your messages have disappeared off the screen. But don't worry, I think I've set this up now so that your messages will be recorded for all prosperity in the side of the YouTube play when you play it back, when you watch this back. So quick hellos to everyone out there who is watching. We've got Mars Jeddah, we've got Duke, we've got David, we've got David, we've got Duke, we've got Vendetta, we've got One Angry Pagan, we've got Cathal, we've got Vendetta, we've got other David, Stephanie, we've got Nick and Diff, we've got Lee Korn. Saying morning all, we've got number 3, hi Richard, we've got Daily Blase, hi Darren, we've got Sean is there as well, Danilo, we've also got RC is in there as well, and Politically Enraged. Wow! And Duke Venue saying his rage keeps him warm. Which is, maybe I've become too, easygoing in recent years. I don't actually think that's true. Okay, so, basically, there's a few things in the news today that I want to pick up. First of all, Mike Pence over in the States testified for 7 hours yesterday to a grand jury about Donald Trump. That looks good to me. I hope that means that they squeezed him till the pips squeaked, and hopefully he dished the dirt on old Trumpy boy, the man who tried to kill him. Yes, the man who sent a rampaging mob into the Capitol building with a gallows, or was it gallows? I don't know. With gallows to kill Mike Pence, if you can believe that. Yeah, that happened. That freaking happened, boys and girls. That wasn't a figment of your imagination. They weren't tourists. The other thing is that E. Jean Cavill is taking Donald Trump to court. It's a civil case for the fact that he raped her in the 1990s, allegedly. He did. I have no doubt about it. Allegedly, though, he did, because obviously you have to say that because the court case isn't over yet. And yesterday she gave evidence for hours in front of the jury, obviously being questioned by Trump's attorney. And it was really disturbing. It was just really, really, really disturbing. That reading the transcript of what was said and what was asked, having someone go through that in the first place is horrific. And then being asked questions about it in the court of law, it's just, there must be a better way of doing it than this. There must be. Anyway, and she did, having read through not all of the transcripts, I'm not Superman, but having read through some of them, I think she came across very well. She put herself very articulately, and she had a response for pretty much every question that this horrible lawyer was asking. David Williams says, hi, Graham. Hi, David. I don't remember any gallows. We need that here, says Vendetta. Yeah. Well, no, I want them out of office. And then we can worry about justice, okay? Maybe we'll use some of their arcane, disgusting laws that they want to bring in against them. Yeah. So you go up to a Tory voter and you say, "Hey, should we have like execution for like high crimes and treason?" They go, "Yeah, treason. We should have that, yeah." And they go, "Great, step this way, my friend. You voted for Brexit, good." Anyway, Sean says, in keeping with our promise, we have applied a €35 credit to your SSE electricity account. This is in addition to any government support you've already received. Oh, wow. €35. That's not even going to touch the bloody sides. Wow. It's believed Pence is going to throw his hat into the ring to be the Republican frontrunner. Really? I quite like that, actually. He's so boring. You know, the last thing we want, really, is for the American election, again, to just be 18 months of pure stress, which is what it has been the last 2 election cycles, at least. I could do without that. I mean, in the UK, you have an election period, what is it, 6 weeks, if that? I mean, it's probably a month or something. It's not very long. And that's it. Then the election's over. You know, it's all done. In America, it's like the Lord of the Rings. It goes on for like 18 months. And then at the end, you think, oh, it's over now. And you go, no, we're going to do some more after that. We're going to have some more election stuff for another couple of months. And you're like, oh, for God's sake, the ring's been destroyed. Aragorn is now the king of Gondor. What more do you need? No, you need to see them in the pub. Okay, all right, you need to see Frodo write the book. Oh, okay, right, we've seen that. Okay, now you need to see Frodo go to the Grey Havens and sail off into the west, which is heaven. And then you need to see Sam go back to say, I'm back, because that was the last line in the book. Okay, I get that. But at least they took out the scarring of the Shire, because that would have been a bit too much. Anyway, so that's what's going on in the States right now. Over in the UK, we have had a court case which has shown, which basically it means that if you're a nurse, you are going to be breaking the law if you go on strike. The government has made this disgusting law to stop nurses who are going to food banks to try and just, keep their head above water, to try and stop them going on strike, because the government is panicking. The government is in full-on panic mode. But you wouldn't know that listening to the right-wing pundits like this terrible, was it Matt Goodwin, yeah. Matt Goodwin, who's this posh bloke who talks about the working class. Show me you're an aristocrat without telling me you're an aristocrat. Oh, you just did. Anyway, he talks about the working classes, and he talks about the fact that this new elite, he calls it the new elite of Remainers. To which I say, listen, mate, Liverpool voted 58% Remain. In fact, the Riverside constituency in Liverpool, which was Louise Ellman's constituency at the time, got one of the highest percentages of Remain votes in the entire nation. I mean, it was up there, not quite up there with Gibraltar, but it was pretty bloody high. And this little southern tosser is coming up from St Albans or wherever he lives, and he's calling us, Scousers, the new elite. We're the new. I'd love to see him go to Toxteth or down Kenny and go, oh, it's the new. Look at the new elite. Look how the new elite lives. And walk past the homeless people in the city centre and go, oh, you're all homeless. You homeless people. You're the new elite. And it's just so childish. It's like, well, I know what you are, but what am I? And it's like, you are the new elite. You are the elite. You're not even the new elite. You're just the elite. You're just the people who are allowed to write books. Because you and I, we can self-publish. Maybe we could go with a little indie publisher. But trying to get a book published in the UK if you didn't go to private school, it's a bit like trying to get a travel show in this country if you didn't go to private school. It's very unlikely. It is very, very difficult. Unless you are a millionaire or you marry a millionaire or something like that, or something that grabs the attention of the private school people because they go, oh, look, a pleb has done well. Oh, it's a working class miracle. And they love to tell these bullshit rags to riches stories about people like James Dyson or Rocco Forte or Tim Martin, all of whom supported Brexit, all of whom were born into money. It's like, oh, how did you make your first million? Well, it was easy. My father gave it to me. Yeah, when you've got money, it's easy to make money. It's a lot easier to make money. So also, along with Matt Goodwin, we have the hideous little, I don't know, Eddie Hitler cosplayer called Toby Young. Toby Young, who tweeted yesterday, "The deep state is real." All right, Eddie. And it is powerful. Ooh, there's a deep state, is there? There's a deep state making you do things. What, like voting for Brexit? No, not those things. What, like voting for the Conservatives in the last 4 elections? No, not those things. It's making you read the Mail? Oh, you mean the most read news site in the world? Oh, no, not those things. It's it's a deep state. It's doing deep statey things. Rock the boat and it will find a way of getting rid of you. Ask Dominic Raab. Oh, sorry. As Dominic Raab found out when he asked civil servants to implement laws to curb the power of activist judges. I mean, this is Toby Young. Okay, let me tell you something about Toby Young, right? Hi, Toby, if you're out there, you horrible little man. Before Toby Young became a full-time under-the-bridge troll, he was a shill for the right-wing, just the moneyed elite, the old elite, the new elite, the elite. He wants to get into Oxford. Like most of us. I mean, that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Going to Oxford University. Unfortunately, if you go to a state school, your chances as a percentage of the people who go to state school are very limited compared with the chances of people who went to a private school. Considering like a third of the people who go to these top universities, like Oxford and Cambridge and Durham, they are privately educated. So if you're not privately educated, it's a bit more difficult. There's more of you and there's fewer spaces for the people that are there, and you're less likely to get a space anyway because the people who went to private school get a VIP lane. Anyway, so Toby Young didn't get the grades to get into Oxford. Like a lot of us didn't get the grades to get into Oxford. I did, by the way, but that's another story. I went to Manchester. But the point being, his daddy made a phone call. Daddy, can you get on the phone for me? I want to go to Oxford. And his daddy made a phone call. Hello, it's Toby Young's father here. Listen, little Toby's he's thick as pig shit, and I'm very sorry, but I'd love him to go to Oxford, and that would be it'd be awfully good. I'll see you on the golf course on Mondays. Kisses. And yeah, that's what he did. His dad made a phone call and got him into Oxford. Could your dad make a phone call and get you into Oxford? No, probably because you're not part of the woke mind virus or the Remainer elite or the new elite or the deep state. Yeah. You know, if I was part of the deep state, that's the kind of thing I'd do for my kid. I'll make a phone call and go, can you get me kid into the most prestigious university in the world? Yeah, sure. No worries, Mr. Young. Whatever. Anything for you, my friend. See you on Monday. Anyway, I said I wouldn't swear. Don't insult Professor Tolkien. I'm sorry, I was not impugning the great name of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, born in Bloemfontein in 1897, I think. One of the greatest writers to come out of Britain, come out of the world, actually. No, honestly not. Oh, wow, we got a £5 super chat from one angry pagan. The bourgeoisie have purposely confused the class definitions so to make it less likely that the proletariat will properly organise. You got an argument there, but the thing is, there are people who will call me the bourgeoisie. I don't own a car or a house or, don't have children of my own because I can't afford them. But, I'm the bourgeoisie because, I don't know, I ate an avocado sandwich once, maybe. I can't even remember. I don't even like avocado that much. But, yeah, they go, oh, but look at this. You went on a holiday. You travelled. You went on a plane. You're the bourgeoisie. You own a fridge. You're the bourgeoisie. You've got an indoor toilet. You're the bourgeoisie. And it makes it very difficult when people blur these definitions of what's what. And it's horrible to see the working class working with the toffs to impoverish the working class even more. But even worse than that on another level is seeing middle class people doing the same thing. Like middle class people impoverishing not themselves, but their children and their grandchildren. Impoverishing them. A study came out yesterday that showed that a child born today would have to, only by the age of 50, only 1 in 3 would own a house. Yeah, great. Thanks for that, everyone. Anyway, Franco Puni, Toby Young is the one who dismissed the brilliant Ken Loach movie, I, Daniel Blake. He claimed it did not ring true, despite admitting not knowing much about the benefits system. Hello, my daddy made a phone call and got me into Oxford University, and I've never claimed benefits in my life, except for the benefits I used to get from the EU for my vast estate, or maybe the benefits I get from the government because I don't have to pay tax because I'm rich, and rich people don't have to pay tax. I don't freaking know. But yeah, this doesn't ring true, this story about this bloke trying to get his benefits, but the benefits are denied him for various stupid reasons. And it's a really good film, by the way. Daniel Blake. Vendetta, Spanish singer. Okay, I told UAE I got this far without it. I don't need it. When asked about not having a decent English GCSE, they still offered me a place. Cool. Little top tip that I've heard on the internet. If you're going for a job, send in 3 what are they called? CVs. Yeah. Send in 3 CVs under different names with, all the things that they need to hear and everything. And then if all 3 of you, you and your 2 fake ones, get called in for a interview, if you're the only one who turns up, you're more likely to get the job. Oh, I love that. Someone also suggested that we should make a trans version of Harry Potter. So everyone in Harry Potter, trans actor. Brilliant. Which led me to think that we should definitely do a version of Father Ted called Sister Ted about nuns living on an island, on Craggy Island. And they're all played by trans women. Graham Linehan would love that. He would love it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sister Ted. Come on. Sister Dougal. Sister Jack. Let's call her Sister Joe. You could just sit in the armchair, like rocking back and forth, going, trans. Can a woman have a penis? Yeah, it'd be quite funny. I think it'd be funny. Okay, everyone should have a house and a food. They are basic things for humans. Yeah. This is why we need universal basic income. And everyone should get a house. You shouldn't be allowed to have a second house in this country because there are people without a first house. That's it. Everyone's homed. Everyone has somewhere to live. Great. I don't think we should have private landlords anymore. I think we should do away with them. I'm sick of it. The idea that, it's obviously changed a bit now because the tax code's changed. But for a long time, if you were rich enough, you could buy a second property. No, you couldn't buy it. Obviously, you didn't have the money to do that. What you could do is you get a mortgage to buy that property, and you could pay off that mortgage every month for 25 years or whatever the mortgage was. But brilliantly, instead of actually having to do extra work or 2 more shifts or, work every hour God sends or whatever, all you need to do is put people in the flat to stop it falling apart, because obviously if there's no one living in the flat for 25 years, or the house, sorry, then things will fall apart. So they're in the place using it, and I know that things will break because they're being used, but statistically, over 25 years, you're better off having people in a property maintaining it rather than no one in a property at all for 25 years. So you put people in the property and then you make them pay your mortgage. So by the end of it, they leave having given you loads of money to pay off your mortgage on your second property. What a great system. What a great system that only benefits the rich. Cheers. Cheers, Tories. But the problem is, and this is a big problem for the Tories right now, is that young people and people, my age and below, because I see myself as a millennial prime. I know I'm a bit old to be a millennial, but I sort of came up with the idea, and I'm very associated with the millennial block. I don't have a proper job and I don't own a house. Okay, if you do, you're Generation X. I don't care if you're the same age as me. If you own your own house, you are Generation X, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, we're not getting into a discussion on that, but the point being is that by the time people are now 40, they still don't have enough money to settle down, start a family, buy a house, etc. Now, those are the things that used to make people move towards the Conservatives. They used to make people move to the right, towards the Conservatives. They're not there anymore. That certainty isn't there because people have this, they have the house, they have the children, they want to protect them, so they go for conservatism because that's always about, we're going to protect you from the evil people who are going to come and do horrible things. That's why the Tories are always seen as better on the economy and better on law and order, when actually, they are not. Labour, every time they're in power, have been much better in those statistical areas. Anyway, not every time. There was a time in 76 that we won't talk about, but the point being that the Tories usually do a dog's dinner of it. But that aside, you have a lot of young people now. You have the Generation Zs or Zs and the Millennials, and they don't have anything, and that means they've got nothing to lose. That means they don't go towards the right as they get older. They actually go further and further towards the left. And last November, when there was the midterm elections, the Pew Research company in America did some research into it, and they found that amongst Generation Zers, or Generation Z, only 21% nationwide, 21% of them voted for the Republicans. That represents an existential threat to the Republican Party. And also the Conservative Party over here. This might be the last election that the Tories can ever hope to win, especially if we bring in PR. If we bring in PR, it's all over. The Tory Party will be no more, because it can't be. It can't continue in the way that it is. It will split into smaller factions of the ERG Party and the One Nation Tory Party and whatever. It will have to. It can't survive the way it is. And also, it will have to adopt policies closer to the middle rather than closer to the extremes. It could change everything, and I really do support PR. And one of the reasons why we set up this channel is so that we can put pressure on the Labour Party to pick up some of the things that we care about, like UBI, like PR, like rejoining the EU. One Angry Pagan, another £5 super chat. Thank you so much. You don't own the means of production, bud. The deprogram lads explain it pretty comprehensively if you want more info. Yeah, I don't. I mean, yeah. Wasn't Toby Young the one behind the push for academisation of schools? Probably. A whole nation of homeowners is impossible. You are on an island with limited space. Renting is a normal thing in Germany. House owning is in their minority. Yes, Danilo, but I was going to say I don't think we should have private landlords. I think we should have state landlords. And I think that at the moment, this law that we have that says that local councils can't be private landlords is ridiculous. Ridiculous! What we should have is a system in which the local authority can build mixed housing for people who are on benefits, people who are working, and have everyone live together in a community, rather than this sort of atomization of the nice affluent area where the workers live and where the people who work live, or the people who have good jobs live, I should say. Everyone bloody works. That's where the good school is. All congregated around the good school, the good Catherine's area. So I mean, there's a lot of things to be done here, but like mixing up communities so that it's not all just a monoculture, that's the word. We've got to get rid of these monocultures, and one of the ways we could do that is by doing away with private landlords and having state-run landlords anyway. Because I was going to get onto the other wizard wheeze when it comes to being a landlord. Okay, so you have a tenant who's on benefits. Yeah, universal credit. It's where things get even better. Your mortgage can be paid for by the taxpayer. Yes, that's right. So when the person who's claiming universal credit gets their credit and has to spend it on rent to a private landlord, that goes towards paying off their mortgage on their second house or third house or fourth house. Oh my God, like seriously, this is the system you built. Right, okay. This is the system we've inherited. Yeah, can we smash this system, please? Please. Let's just smash it. Come on, let's smash it together. It'll be fun. Houghton125, hello. I'm in social housing, although rent rising is good compared to the private market. Terrible condition, though. No desire for companies to maintain. Rent and standards both need regulating. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. And this is why I think that we should have housing associations in different areas, maybe like down to the constituency or even down to the ward that you live in, and each housing, so it's not too big and unwieldy. One of the big problems that we have in the UK at the moment with the Met Police is it's just too damn big. There's like 1 million people work for it. It's just too big. Well, not 1 million, but it's a lot of people work for it. And this is why so many people who have got jobs as police officers should not have got those jobs. Really should not have got those jobs. But because it's such a big service, it can't sort of control this sort of, what I'm trying to say in so many words is small is beautiful. Anyway, another £2 from One Angry Pagan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Patrick says it would be nice if landlords were made to make their properties fit for human habitation. Yeah, well, Patrick, for a long time there was a law in the UK that said, hey, do you know what? If you buy a property and you trash it, they'll rip out all the copper pipes and all the wiring and make it unfit for human habitation, you only have to pay half council tax. Great. So what happened in Liverpool in the 1990s? You can imagine a lot of rich southern people came up to Liverpool and bought like entire freaking streets almost of terraced housing and ripped out all the plumbing and boarded up the windows and went, it's not fit for human habitation. And then they sat on that property for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they sold it for a massive profit. Well, no one could live there in the interim, or make the area nice, or the street nice. Yeah. This is a whole other episode, I think. But yeah, we were very lucky to buy a house, but we and many of our friends had inheritance to help with that. It's pure luck. I truly feel sorry for younger generations. It's not even an aspiration anymore. Yeah, you're right, Nick and Diff. You're absolutely right. And yeah, I think it's one of the horrific parts of what the result is of having, for the last 44 years, 31 of them being ruled by a pretty extreme right-wing party that doesn't give a single stuff, try not to swear, about you, me, anyone but themselves and their mates who they want to enrich. Break up the Met Police, should not serve the whole of Greater London. Absolutely, 100%. Break it into 26 parts, or however many boroughs there are in London. Split it up. I mean, we've got the technology now. Do you know what I mean? You've got Facebook. It can tell you where 1 billion people went on holiday 5 years ago. But we can't have the system where these different police areas work together. And also, I mean, being tarred at the same brush as well. If there was a particular police station that was bad for these people who are, rotten apples, then that wouldn't necessarily reflect negatively on every police officer in London. Just like the Met being bad doesn't necessarily reflect badly on every police officer in the rest of the country. Well, that kind of does. Same with Thames Valley Police, indeed. I've just been evicted. Oh, shit. Sorry, Vendetta, to hear that. Council were useless, but Andrea Jenkins, woo, yes, really did pressure them to help. Finally got a flat from Housing Association. It's insulated. Oh, good one. Light years away from owning a house, says Phil. It probably won't happen. And pure luck, I found the landlord who charges way less than he could. Without that, could not afford any type of home. Yeah, we are living in a housing crisis, and we need to do something about it. I see socialised housing as a way to ensure that everyone has somewhere to live. And you could set up a system, in which you live in that house for X many years. You can put in a bid to buy it. That's great. And then the council can use that money to build another house and put someone else in that house. And that's the way it could work. But instead of that, we had a right to buy scheme in the 1980s, which meant that a lot of social housing got gobbled up by the private sector. And the Tory government have absolutely monumentally failed to build houses. There was a woman on Question Time last night. It was kind of hilarious. She was so bad. She was a housing minister. She was so bad. She wasn't interested in facts. She was, facts aside. I mean, it was just, I should play it on the show here, actually. It was really, really bad. It was awful. And she was up against Lisa Nandy, and Lisa Nandy was putting her straight with the facts, saying when Labour were in charge, they built like 185,000 houses a year or whatever it was. And the Tories had built like none. Like, seriously, it is, but they all live in castles, manors. They have a second home in London that's paid for by you and me. And yeah, they're doing all right, aren't they? I'm all right, Jack. So anyway, finally, because I've got to wrap up soon. It's 2 minutes past 10, and I know you're champing at the bit to head over to James O'Brien on LBC. But we are bookending James O'Brien today, and I'll come to that in a moment. But last night, there was a wonderful new website launched, and I'm going to be talking about this with oh no, I'll put the wrong one in. It's called stopthetories.vote. Okay, that's what it's called. I'm going to put that into the message thing here. So we've got local elections next week, okay, and in the local elections there's never usually a tactical voting website. It's usually only for general elections, because obviously there are a hell of a lot more wards than there are constituencies, and there's more people standing for councilorships around the country. It's like thousands of them rather than just 650 MPs. So obviously it's a lot more. But yeah, if you go there and you put in your postcode, I'll show you this on the screen. Hopefully, this might be a bit weird because I only have my list of stuff here, so this might not come across quite how it should, but I will try my best, my friends. I will try my best. That's all I can offer. My best. Stop the Tories. All right. There you go. Take back your Tory council. There it is. You don't need to see which websites I like to visit. They're all boring. Let's get rid of my Morning Brew logo in the corner there. So this is stopthetories.vote. I know .vote is a bit of a weird one to to as a suffix for URL suffix. But basically what you do is you go in here, you type in your postcode. Let's go M192DL. I just made that up. I don't know if that's a real postcode or not. Yes, Burnage! I used to live in Burnage, and it was something like that. I didn't want to dox myself on live telly. Not telly, YouTube, live YouTube. So anyway, so it'll tell you Manchester, Burnage, Tories unlikely to win here, so vote for your preferred Progressive Party. If you live somewhere where there's a good chance of getting the Tories out, but only if people vote for the correct candidate, whether they be Lib Dem or Labour or Plaid Cymru or no, not having local elections in Scotland, are they? Whatever other party, the Greens, they're voting for. But you can go on this website. It was launched last night at 8 o'clock, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and also you've got these options down here to share with your friends and family. And also you can join your local Facebook group. So what they've done is they've set up a load of Facebook groups around the country ready for the next election, because this is all set up ready for the general election. But this is a bit of a trial run in a way. But the guys who put this together, including Josh Russell, who was on the agenda with me a couple of weeks ago talking about voter suppression. He's one of the drivers behind this. And also John Mortar, who's the guy who got Rage Against the Machine to number one in 2009. If you remember that. So this is the website. And there you go. You got all the Manchester wards there. Let's go to Charlestown. Tactical vote for seat 1 is Labour. Let's see if there's a local. No, there's no local groups there yet. Alongside that, it's saying to vote for Labour there as well. There's one seat up for the ward. So if you vote for Labour, it keeps the Tories out. This is a made up place. There's no place called Harperhy. I don't know. Anyway, these are all saying vote for Labour. I should probably pick a postcode that's not a postcode that's not in the Labour. That's not in the northwest or the northeast or the places I normally live, because I try not to live where the Tories also live, because that would make me very, very sad. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to go back to the normal show now. So Phil Morehouse and I will be back at 1 o'clock today. So set your watches. At 1 o'clock today for a round of the agenda. And we'll be talking about what's happening in the news. And we'll also be talking about this website. We'll be talking about tactical voting and why it's so important. And why the Tories are trying to suppress the vote, obviously, because they're panicking. They're facing an existential threat. Young people are not voting for the Conservatives for damn good reasons, because the Conservatives have ruined everything, made everyone really sad, destroyed the economy, and filled our rivers full of shit. If that's not a reason to never allow them to be in government, or even local government ever again, I don't know what is. It's literally, these people have shat from a great height on the people of the United Kingdom, on the people of the European Union, on the people of the world, on people and the planet. And we've got to get rid of them. And it's not good enough to just beat the Tories in the next elections. We need to destroy them. We need them ground to dust. And as I keep saying, blown to the four winds. And then, my friends, we can start building a better Britain for everybody, where we're happy again. Remember that? Remember being happy? I do. It was great. Bring that back. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to all of my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. You can join on YouTube as a member, or you can join as a patron. I will be starting up the wonderful, what's that thing called? Discord next week. So look out for that. I won't be back on Monday. If you're looking out for the next morning brew, Phil is filling in. He's filling it. See what I did there on Monday, and so I'll be producing, but he'll be doing the show, and I'll be taking over on Tuesday instead this week. So I'll let you go, because we're 8 minutes into James O'Brien. Although you'll probably skip the news and the ads. And before I go, I'm just going to say I'm very tempted to put a car in my science back window that has Tories out printed on it. Be useful when heading south. That'd be great, Nick and Diff. Do it. Okay, great Discord. Yes, the Discord is the Labour Social Discord now, and anyone who's already a patron of mine personally, anyone who's joined the Labour Social Patreon, And anyone who's a member on YouTube will get access to that. If you don't already have access to it, I'll give it to you next week and we'll sort all that out. So thank you very much for supporting this channel, getting off the ground over the last month. It's been amazing. We have gained over 2,500 subscribers. A lot of that is down to Phil. I can't thank him enough. And also down to you and your wonderful comments, which I would normally go, your lovely comments that are coming up here. I've got to find a new way of doing that for the next show, but I will. So we'll see you hopefully at 1 o'clock today after James O'Brien. If not, I'll see you on Monday. Well, I'll see you on Tuesday, but Phil will see you on Monday at 9:30 for another morning brew. And until then, thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.